What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life, and we're
Katie.
in Chilton County, and we're going to explore some tornado damage. We had that tornado come through here, and well, honestly, sometimes it's hard to tell if the damage we're looking at is from this tornado or from a previous tornado. Because there's tornado damage in all directions out here.
I'm trying to get Jose to watch the movie Twister.
Not going to happen. Why would I torment myself? See, that's the thing about women. Women will watch stuff that torments them. Like, you'll sit there and watch a movie about... So why would I make myself cry? Women, like, make themselves cry. Why?
I don't remember it being a crying movie.
What is it, a terrifying movie?
No. It's a movie about storm chasers.
It sounds scary. I don't want to watch it.
Frady cat.
Well, you know what? So, it's okay to be afraid of a tornado. You know how many trucks are damaged by tornadoes every year? I don't want my truck damaged. So I guess, I don't know if they're clearing the land here or what. I guess they're just clearing the land here. It's hard to tell. Yeah, they're clearing the land. This isn't tornado damage. I don't think it is. Yo, it's hard to tell, really. Really hard to tell. I guess they're clearing the land here, but then there's also tornado damage, so it's very confusing. It's very confusing. Nice view. Look to your right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
So this is the area that was hit by the tornado recently, and we're gonna kind of wind up and down these hills and try to find the areas that were damaged. This is the closest tornado to us. We had a night of tornadoes back to back 2 weeks in a row or something like that, and this would have been the closest tornado to where we live, about 20 miles north of us. So this tornado would have been the closest one to us. So this tornado, yeah, pretty crappy situation. You have a tornado 20 miles north of you. That's not too far, but it is hit or miss. I mean, even out here, you have to kind of like look for it. It's not like it's not like a hurricane where it's 100 miles wide. It's very, very centralized.
Turn right. Turn right onto County Road 481, then turn left onto County Road 479.
So yeah, it's very centralized. Now, it's possible that we're gonna take a right here, and all up through here, I guess.
Turn left onto County Road 479.
All up through here. We're really close to the area now, and it's really hit or miss. Like I said, I mean, you have to really look for these tornado paths. They're not like out in the open, like, you know. So I guess the bright side is that it is pretty small of an area. Like, here's a tree that fell. It doesn't look fresh. That's previous. This is pink, so here's another dog. This is, well, at least it's around its own house. The other dog we saw earlier was just lost.
Ooh.
What happened?
Do you not see it?
That truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Okay, now we're surrounded by dogs. That's possibly tornado damage. Yeah, it could have just flipped over during a tornado. But it's not the only thing in this property that got hit. It would have been like more, right? Do we have like a bunch of dogs chasing us?
You need to...
I think graffiti on their shed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Deer graffiti.
I don't know. We'll find out. That truck definitely looks like it flipped over. Maybe they just rode it off a cliff or something. Missed the driveway. I mean, this is pretty steep out here. But yeah, the thing about these tornadoes is they're really hit or miss. Now, we're in Chilton County, and the tornado started here in Chilton County, and then it made its way over into Coosa County on the other side of Lake Mitchell. So I think they're calling this the Lake Mitchell tornado is what they're calling this one. We're really close to the vicinity. Now, the exact site, we're going to have to find it. I mean, this is just a rural area, and because we have Lake Mitchell, you know, a lot of these mountains back and forth. Like, we were just less than a mile from here earlier, And it took 22 minutes to drive over here. So there's a lot of, you kind of have to wind your way back and forth to get back and out.
Continue on County Road 474.
These are kind of like little finger streets is what I like to call them. Finger streets. So to get to the area of damage, you have to kind of,
Keep left at the fork.
you have to drive back and forth. Looks like there's some, let's see here. There's a few houses, just a few houses ahead of us. But it looks like there's tornado damage here, don't it? This looks like tornado damage here, so this might be, yeah, this is it right here.
On County Road 474.
Alright, so like I said, here we are now. Wow. All of a sudden.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to get back here.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
Head southeast.
I think you're gonna have to pull out.
I got it, don't worry. There's 5 houses back here.
Yeah.
Make a U-turn. Then
I already
Okay,
see.
just relax. You and Siri both be quiet. I'm driving, I'll figure it out. There's 5 houses back here. And as you guys can see, pretty much completely destroyed this little area here. This is a more remote area. There's 5 houses down here. We're on off of County Road 474. There's about 5 houses down here, and as you can see, complete destruction basically down here. I mean, big pine trees, everything down. There's a power line right there in front of us, so we're not going to go any further than this, I think. Looks like there's a clearing down there. They got equipment down there, so there's a power line right there. That's kind of scary to have to drive over a power line. Oof. But as you guys can see, this is what happens when a tornado hits your neighborhood. And like, you know, we've been driving around this whole area for a little bit now, and we're just now finally starting to see the damage. So it's very centralized, but whatever the particular area is that gets it pretty bad. So we're not going to go into these properties here, but we're going to turn around right here. But as you can see, this area,
You can keep going out.
let me see.
It looks like.
Now that's probably private property, so we're going to back out of here.
Mhm.
And there's a few other houses in this area. So we're gonna turn around here. But as you can see, it is very centralized.
County Road 479 down there.
Gotcha. But there's only 3 or 4 houses. We're not gonna go down there.
Okay.
We're trying to stick to the areas that have more houses, so we're not in kind of,
Yeah.
you know. But as you guys can see, you know, complete destruction wherever these things go through. And the big trees actually make it pretty dangerous. That's why I try to clear as many big trees from directly, you know, maybe vicinity of our house, but it's like a lot of work took place just to clear this little road here. So this is about where the tornado started, and like I said, we've been driving around for a little bit before we ran into this spot. So as you can imagine, that it's very centralized. You know, this area here got destroyed, but from here moving forward, you can't even tell. You can barely even tell. So that's the thing about tornadoes, is it doesn't affect everybody's life all at once like a hurricane. So it's a different type of event than a hurricane, if you're familiar with it. Very powerful and destructive. And I see most of the damage is on the right side of us. On the left side of the road, there's not much. It's mostly on the right side of us. Down there, you can see there's houses way at the bottom. It looks like complete utter destruction down the right. And we'll get down there. You see there's water. There's, you know, debris in the water. So pretty destructive little situation. Here it looks like, wow, it looks like that just fell right there. That's crazy. I guess the tornado did that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a landslide.
Yeah.
That's wild. I've never seen that. Look at the size of those rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So the tornado caused a landslide, basically.
Yeah.
Just show you guys real quick here. And there's some houses behind us that totally got annihilated, really. Giant landslide, basically. So I guess that's the only way to describe that. So, carefully drive right past this. Very scary. It looks like the mountain just kind of fell. Total landslide. I've never seen that. I guess a tornado kind of did that, but it's very centralizing. On one side of the road, there's no damage, and on the other side of the road, you guys will see it's pretty much just destroyed.
Yeah,
that looks like private property, so we can't go down there. Let me see how I can get an angle to show it without intruding. Total destruction, by the way. These people living here, they're going through it right now. Let me see if I can turn back around. There's got to be a way I guess I can get out, can I? Let me get out. I'm going to get out of the vehicle and show that real quick. Without going in it, because you can't drive into that private property. Ooh. Okay. Let's just show you guys what it looks like down there. The car comes. I got to get out of the way quickly. I'll show you guys real quick. As you can see down there, it's pretty much pure destruction in that area back there. We're going to stay up here so we're out of the way, but you can see nothing but pure destruction in that direction. Let me zoom in. You can see houses destroyed, boat garages, all of that destroyed down there. So pretty bad. Pretty bad. A lot of devastation down there. And a lot of this area, it's really hard to document it because of see, on this side you got just some smaller trees down and stuff like that. But it's pretty much very centralized into one little area. And that's the thing you got to understand about tornadoes is it's either like hit or miss. Usually miss, but if you're hit, you're pretty much in trouble. Let me get this all rigged up again. Yeah, it's definitely not a pretty scenario down there. Put up your phone and maps again so I can kind of see where there is I can get into. But as you can see, mostly it's 5 or 6 houses, you know, and at the bottom of these little entrances. So you don't want to go down there just to bother these people. So we're not gonna be too intrusive.
Like we're driving past and I see parts of roofs and
yeah, there's all types of debris in the woods here. But here it's kind of hard to tell in this little area, so it's really hit or miss. You know, the tornado is not a massive area. It's a very small little area. But if you're in that small little area, big damage. Let's see here. I've worked for a few people. I've worked for a few people in this little area already. I get a lot of work up in this area, so I had to check on a few people just to make sure when everything went down. A few houses in each one of these directions, but that's probably private property. And this is not, if you're unfamiliar with Alabama, going on private property in Alabama is not a joke. This is not other states. You know, people think Florida, you know, Florida's, oh, you know, because it's, you know, rights and all that. And Florida's nothing. In Florida, you can go on people's property. We used to do it all. I used to do all types of trespassing when I was in Florida. Alabama's a different story. Alabama's not a state where you want to go on private property, so you have to be really careful. What we're doing now, even though we're on a county road, just the fact there's only 5 houses back here, you don't have any business back here. So just so you understand what we're doing now is pretty dangerous. Somebody could really take it the wrong way. So this is Alabama, this is not other states, so understand that. We have to be really careful just to stay on these county roads and not go off of them. Otherwise, this is a beautiful area. I mean, as you can tell, these are houses that are on the lake. And, you know, beautiful natural setting, nice mountains that come right up to the lakes. I mean, this is really a retreat from the rest of the world here in Chilton County. This is really a retreat from the rest of the world and all its madness back in here. A little V here. And there's nothing more than a few houses back here, so at this point we're going to turn around. The other little entrance had more houses down it. But as you guys can kind of tell, I mean, this pine tree split right there. And there are houses down here, but we're trying the best that we can not to go into private property. So there's one house here and there's several down there. We're going to go back out to Fort Ruff County Road 861, and at some point the county roads become private property, and that's where we really got to be careful. Because like I said, this is Alabama. This is not some state where there's states that you can trespass on people's property. Alabama's not a state where you want to do that. I had somebody recently tell me, oh, if if you have a tornado, don't leave your property. I guess I live in some other state and they don't get how Alabama works. That's one of our subscribers made a comment along the lines of, oh, if you get hit by a tornado, don't abandon your property because people come looting. I'm like, how looting in Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, it happened was it Birmingham? In Birmingham, they had a Fultondale tornado, and somebody came from Tennessee. They came from another state to do looting in Fultondale. But you think you're going to come loot here in Alabama? In these places, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
You are out of you just don't get how Alabama works. So no, in Alabama, you're not. First, just you understand how the laws work in Alabama. And I have to be really careful what I say because YouTube is getting to the point where censorship, where I don't even know how much of a video you can make anymore. They're getting to the point where it's ridiculous with censorship. But in other states, like Florida has a 10-20 life law.
Yeah.
Alabama, if you don't discharge, you're not breaking the law. Or you're open carrying, whatever, all that. So, in Florida, if you're fishing, it's the only time you can really do that. So, no, this is a different state, and every state has different laws. In this state, you really don't want to do that. You'll have a very, very
rough time.
And then keep in mind, not only that, but then the state has the worst prisons. There's a piece of roof right there in the middle of the woods. You see that? And there's no structures anywhere here, so that came from a long distance to land there. Looks like a new roof too. Somebody recently put that roof on something, a shed or a little building. So every state's got different laws, and every state has different prisons. And prisons here in Alabama are rated the worst in the country. So you definitely do not want to find yourself in the Alabama correctional system. So that's not only what the laws are about trespassing, but then once you've actually done it, the prisons here are the worst prisons in the entire country, by far. Maybe Louisiana and Mississippi could be a little bit similar, but without a doubt, Alabama has the worst prisons. So not only during the commission of any crime are you very, very... Wow, look at that drop-off. There's a drop-off. It'll make you dizzy just looking down there. So not while you're committing a crime are you in danger of a homeowner putting a really quick end to it. But then once you, and not only that, but these are complete hillbillies out here. So you're not just gonna get. They might just tie you up in the woods for a week. I mean, I've heard stories of people that were caught stealing out here, getting tied up in the woods for a few weeks, and beaten and not fed for a few weeks, to the point where you want the cops to come get you, haul you off. So my understanding is if they catch you out here, they're gonna probably hog tie you and beat you for a few weeks. And when the sheriff comes, you're gonna be glad to see that police car pull up, because you won't be in the hands of these savage hillbillies anymore. So no, Alabama's not a place where I have to worry about somebody looting my property. So look at this piece of metal. From what I can see, let me just show you guys this piece of metal on the left here. Looks like the piece of metal came flying, or roof came flying from far away, and the roof took the tree out. So that piece of metal just came flying and hit that tree and knocked it out. So very savage. New metal roof, just like the one we installed on our house. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? I mean, we just did that. We just put a new roof on our house.
Yeah.
Recently.
Okay, we're getting into.
Yeah, it's bad down here. There's a lot of properties on this way.
No, it's private property.
Here, where does it say that?
They're trespassing
Down that
signs.
way, so down that way. There's a lot of houses down there. There's a lot of houses. So there's probably 10 houses down here. And again, we're not going to trespass. But anyways, you know, most likely scenario, they're not going to like, you know, they're not going to, you know, they're not going to call the cops. They're going to hog tie you, beat you, and starve you for a week or two, and then they'll call the cops on you. You know? And when the cops show up, then they're going to put you into the worst prison system in the entire country. So you might really want to think twice about that. So most likely, no, there's not. You don't have to worry about looting in Alabama. I guess in your state, wherever you live, that might have been your first impression was, oh, make sure nobody loots your property. No, that's not going to happen here. And some people might, oh, that's savage. I'm like, well, then I don't have to worry about my crap getting stolen, do I? I don't have to worry about people stealing my stuff. And I'm not a criminal, so I don't have to worry. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. I'm like, oh, they're building a new house down there. Look at that. It didn't seem like they got too much damage on these houses.
No.
They're at the bottom of the hill, though. See that house right there at the bottom of the hill?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no damage, because I guess the whole thing just flew right over them.
Yeah. I think we've come to the end.
We're at the end. I'm just looking for a place to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, for the most part, let me see here. Neighborhood watch.
Mm-hmm.
Private property. So we gotta turn around here. Let me see where I can do that. Let me just back up. So, no, you know, my subscriber who mentioned something about somebody looting my property. They said, oh, if you get hit by a tornado, don't leave your property. Your neighbors. See, they said your neighbors will loot your property. I'm like, my neighbors looting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my neighbors will be the least. I don't know if I'll be able to put this thing in drive. I'm afraid we're going to slide on this hill at this point. We're in trouble. Oh, man. Even with these big tires we got on here, this is scary. The inclines here are serious. See this property here, they got too much damage on that property. They might have just gone right past them and missed them. So this property here, didn't seem like they got that much damage. Yeah, so I missed that property. So as you guys can see, it's hit or miss, but no, I don't have to worry. No, that lets you know how different Alabama is from other states. Listen to that comment. If you live in Alabama, if you're here from Alabama, listen to what this person said. If you get hit by a tornado, don't leave your property because your neighbors will loot your property. That's not going to happen in Alabama. Maybe in, I don't know, whoever wrote this comment, I don't know if you live in Florida or New York, California. I don't know what state you live in where you can draw up just a conclusion as your neighbors will loot your property, but that's definitely... if anything, if somebody comes to loot my property, they better watch out for my neighbors. You know? It's crazy how in other states, you know, they criticize how savage it is out here and how backwards it is in Alabama. Yet I don't have to worry about my neighbors looting my property. That's apparently what this person thinks was going to happen. Just a random piece of metal there for somebody's roof. But no, there's no way you're gonna. Look at that driveway down there. That's cool stuff. Every state's different, and every area is different too. Like for example, I understand in Birmingham or Montgomery, where they're big cities and stuff, how stuff like that could happen in a big city. But out here in these backwoods, you'd have to be completely, wow, this is scary. You'd have to be out of your mind to think that in these backwoods somebody's gonna come looting. You're not, because you will, like I said, you'll probably end up hogtied for 2 weeks before the cops show up. You're gonna wish the cops would show up, so you get an idea of what it's like out here. And it depends on the type of person you run into, but there's people out here who, you trust me, the last thing you want to do is come looting. And when the cops show up, you don't know what the type of cop you're going to get either. So it's just, yeah. You criticize Alabama all you want, but that I don't have to worry about that. Look at all the debris out in the middle of the woods, man. That's crazy. People's roofs and stuff just random in the woods. I mean, it's like the whole mountainside over there. I don't know how well you guys can see it. On the left, there's like a mountainside here, and it's littered with like pieces of roof. Well, here's a piece of roof right here. Nope, I don't have to worry about these people. Don't have to worry about somebody come looting here, people. That's not gonna happen. I know in other states, I guess in other states, can you imagine that? To live in a place where you get hit by a tornado and your neighbors come steal your stuff, take advantage of that. There's places where that happens. It happened here in Fultondale. They arrested some people. And let me tell you, those people that came from Tennessee to loot over here in Alabama, they have a very, very
rough road ahead of them.
Yeah, they got a rough road ahead of them. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure they got they got some good Southern hospitality. They're probably lucky they were caught. It was in Fultondale, in a big city, and not out here in these backwoods. So no, you're not gonna come looting out here. That's not gonna happen. I can't believe somebody would even mention that, but again, it did happen in Fultondale, but it ain't gonna happen out here. Yeah, man, they just chopped that whole valley apart. All those houses down there. Park right here for a minute so I can show you guys what's going on down there. Really, really disturbing to watch. Just to think, it's somebody's property, somebody's house. I mean, it's pretty bad down there. Pretty, really bad stuff to look at down there. But that's what tornado damage does, and this is the Chilton County. They're calling it the Lake Mitchell tornado. This is the damage from it. And to answer my subscriber's question, who thinks that people here have to worry about looting? No. I think the looters would have to be cautious of the residents. That's not how it runs here in Alabama. But yeah, it's just, I can't even wrap my mind around that. But yep, not out here, guys. This is not California. How muddy I got the truck. Yeah, buddy, man. And with these tires, like these little slopes out here, a little bit slippery like that, you think you're gonna end up in trees, man. But yeah, as you guys can see, I can't open my windows because we've got the window tints put on. But pretty bad. Yep, there it is, y'all. Lake Mitchell tornado, about 20 minutes north of where I live. Again, it's been a scary week here with all these tornadoes coming through. And the destruction of this, it's just incredible. The destruction of these tornadoes running through. It's just incredible. But these are great areas. And like I said, the people out here these aren't the type of people you're gonna go on their properties and take their stuff. That doesn't happen. If back in Florida, I've been in rural areas in Florida where people tell me that they get stuff stolen off their front lawns all the time. This is not Florida. But it's just personal perception, Like some people perceive that Florida is a very I don't know, whatever. I go to North Florida. One of our biggest fears of moving to a rural area in Florida was because we really wanted to stay in Florida back then, not anymore. After seeing Alabama, I don't want to go back to Florida. Mm-hmm. It's just a different type of people out here, But after being in Alabama, I don't want to go back to Florida.
If I'm going to go back to Florida, I'm going to go in a car and leave my house in Alabama.
Yeah. After living in Alabama, I don't know. But one of our biggest fears about moving to rural Florida was you know, people there, you know, the junkies, they'll come and they'll steal everything off your front lawn.
Yeah.
You leave, you know, I used to talk to people. I would go out to, like, you know, where the areas that I wanted to move to, Brooksville, Williston, all those places like that, and I talk to people, and they tell you, hey, you know, the junkies come around and they stole this and they stole that, you know what I mean? And yeah, you definitely don't want to. Definitely don't want to do that here. But like I said, every state is different, and that's really a thing in Florida, where people take advantage of situations and stuff. But yeah, you'd have to be out of your mind to do something like that here in Alabama. You really would. And sadly, that's, you know, like Lehigh Acres. And Lehigh Acres is kind of more rural areas of Southwest Florida where you used to live, and people there go to work, come back, and their TV's gone. You know what I mean? Buy a new TV, and when you put the box out by the curb, they'll steal that one too. There's just no respect. But here in Alabama, it ain't like that. It's a whole different world out here. Different kind of people. And criticize them all you want. This is where I want to live around people like this. Because I'm not a criminal, so I don't have anything to worry about. You have to worry about it if you're, you know, somebody told me recently on my channel, oh, I'm not moving to Alabama. They got the worst prisons in the country. I'm like, I ain't trying to go to prison. Good. I'm like, good. Maybe they'll, you know, convince some sense into a few people. Use the map. We're going to go to Centralville next. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with the state that I live in having the worst prison. You know why? Because if somebody steals my stuff, I want them to go to the worst prisons they can go into. Why would I be thinking about that? So, and this person was in California. They're like, oh, you know, I'm not moving to Alabama. They got the worst prison. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what prisons are supposed to be like. Am I right or wrong?
Were you thinking it was going to be some kind of party?
You think Alabama's going to accommodate? You think in Alabama they're going to accommodate you stealing their stuff?
No.
Not in the least bit. You know? Not in the least bit. This state is not going to accommodate your prison stay. Is not going to be comforting. Why would that even matter to you? First of all, oh, I'm not moving to state. They got the worst prisons. I'm like, are you planning to go to these prisons? Why would that even be on your radar? Let me tell you, if you're moving to Alabama, be a law-abiding citizen, because out here they're not going to put up with garbage out here. And I'm giving you the warning. I had somebody who they weren't fast from California. They went on my channel like maybe about a year ago, like I don't know, 8 months ago or something. When I first moved down here, like, oh man, I moved to Alabama and I moved out. It didn't work for me. I'll never live in this state. I'm moving back to California. And I said, okay, you're moving back to California. Why didn't you like Alabama? Oh, I got arrested, man, and they put me in prison. What would you all stealing some stuff? Don't steal. Good. I'm glad you're going back to California.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want that garbage here.
No.
You know? GPS Centerville.
It is.
Cool. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with.
You're back online. You are on the fastest route. You will arrive at 3:56 p.m.
It's an hour from here. Wow.
It's all right.
But yeah, but you know, I'm okay with the state that I live in having the worst prison. That's kind of what you want, because then somebody says, like here in Alabama, I was talking to, you know, somebody out here, and I was like, you know, they're like, dude, I ain't breaking the law. I mean, I like breaking the law. The person's like, I like doing all these things, but dude, I ain't going to prison here. Or back in Florida, people are like, no, I go to jail all the time, dog. I ain't scared of the police. Take me to jail. Find me a husband, you know?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's Florida.
That's Florida. I mean, Georgia, I ain't scared of jail. Take me to jail. Find me a husband. Is that a giant catfish in the middle of the road? What was this washer's eating? You know what I mean? Like, when people are like, I ain't scared of jail, man. Find me a husband. You know? But, yeah, here in Alabama, like, people are terrified. What is that? It's a giant catfish.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Dude, it's like a 3-foot catfish. I wonder if the tornadoes just, like, picked it up out of the water and threw it here. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely. So, as you can see, a catfish on top of a mountain sinks to a tornado. And, But that pretty much covers it, guys. And for the most part, what you need to understand is about Alabama is, especially the rural, maybe not so much Birmingham or Montgomery or anything like that, but believe me, if you move to one of these rural counties out here, yeah, you don't want to have problems with law enforcement out here. It's not going to go very well for you. They will find you a husband in Alabama very quickly, and he's not going to try to woo you or put on candles, or it ain't gonna go like it does in Florida. I know in California when you go to prison, they light candles for you and they play some Barry White theme song or something. That's not how it's gonna go down here in Alabama. In Alabama, it's gonna be like, you gonna eat your cornbread, and you're like, no, the cornbread's gonna eat me. You know, so just some thoughts on that, because a lot of people mentioned, they actually came to my channel to advise me, no, don't leave your property, it's going to get looted. I'm like, yeah, the person that's going to get looted is the person who comes looting around here. They're going to get looted by, what's the guy's name in the movie?
Bubba.
Not Bubba. You don't remember the prison movie? What was the guy's name?
Which one?
The big guy, the big guy with the little rubber ducky. Prepare to be wooed by the master.
From Let's Go to Prison?
Yeah, what was the big guy's name? Larry? I don't remember his name.
We'll find out.
But yeah, you will, if you think about coming to Alabama to break the law, prepare to be wooed by the master. Prepare to be wooed. It's fun to say that. Prepare to be wooed. Squeaky rubber duck noise by the master. Except for you probably won't get wooed here. You just get to meet the master himself.
Barry?
Barry's the guy's name. You come to Alabama, break the law, you're gonna get to meet Barry. And Barry will not, I guess it was Barry White. I guess, is that what they were going for with that movie? They were going for like a Barry, like actual Barry White character was in prison. I guess that's why they meant, because the theme song of the song is I Want to Take a Shower with You.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what they were going for, really. Yep. All right, everybody. I'm gonna let you guys go, and that is the Chilton County Lake Mitchell tornado damage. That's what I can show you guys.
In a quarter mile, continue straight.
We're off to the next tornado. We're out.